Hey guys, it's Ruxy. Figured I'd post my first piece of public content. Now, before I talk about this game specifically, I would like to say what I'm going to be talking about. I want to talk about basically just this one instance that occurred in this game, specifically in the early game, and I want to talk about the information that was available post-draft to both these teams, and what this information causes stuff to happen in the game, basically. What can you do with this information is what I'm trying to say, that you can get from post-draft. Because a lot of the information you get post-draft is not utilized by a lot of teams, even though the information is there and you can actually abuse or find windows or punish the enemy team with these windows. So I'm going to go fully in depth as much as I can, while trying to make it short, because I don't want to go too long, because it's only going to be about one instance of the game, specifically in the early game. So we can talk about the comps and then go into matchups specifically. So right now we have um, Exodia comp with the basically you have Yumi Ezreal, you have Yumi Olaf combo, you have Strong Mid Jungle with Olaf Zoe, and then you have Ornn for Ornn items and scaling, as well as frontlining, and later on you have sustain with this team. You have poke, you have hard engage, long range engage. You can play short fights with the Ezreal, or sorry, you can play short fights with the Olaf, Zoe, and the Yumi, and then you can play long fights with Ezreal and Zoe. So you have a lot of options. You have long range, long engage, front line, sustain, etc. But you have to get through the early game for this comp to function. The Olaf also allows you to try to get to that by going for early Drakes. Um, so basically, what they want to do is get first two Drakes, and by getting first two Drakes, they can allow themselves to buy time to get items and eventually fight for their third or fourth Drake. Right? Pretty simple. Strong team fight comp. Lots of tools, but they have to survive the early game. So let's talk about JDG's side. You have pretty much a 1-3-1 comp, I would say. You have Camille with the Lucian, that's very strong in side lane. And then you have Bard and Ashe, which can help the side lanes out with the Ashe ult, or you can use portals to get to the sides faster. You can use Bard ult to disengage, to engage as well on sides. So it's a very good 1-3-1 comp, I would say. But 1-3-1 comp is not very meta, even in patch 10.16. It still was not prominent. It was a very teamfight centric dragon meta, as it still is in Worlds. But the Evelynn does allow you to play 1-3-1 heavily. This is one of the only champions that enables 1-3-1 even in this meta because of her invisibility, which allows her to basically be on both sides of the map at the same time because no one knows where you are. Now, that's pretty much how the comps function. Team fighting wise, I mean, they're just very short range compared to the enemy composition. So I mean, 5-on-5, obviously it's just the LGD victory, but you got the 1-3-1 angle from this team, and they have to pretty much play to punish the early game or get a lead in their early game so that they can start playing their 1-3-1 comp into the map. And the more open the map is, the better it is for Evelynn to cross through the jungle. Um, which makes it very hard for the enemy team to step up on sides, which allows a lot more tempo advantages in the game for JDG. Now, this is not actually how the game plays out, but this is just how the comps function. Assuming there's a slight lead for red team and blue team is able to get maybe first two Drakes or first Drake. Um, so beyond that, one thing I'm going to talk about now is just matchups individually. You have Ornn into Camille. I'm not going to go too in depth about this matchup because basically, I mean, Ornn can win this matchup if the Camille is bad. It's pretty much on the bad player to um, lose this matchup or lose priority in the early game. But I mean, it's Zoom, so you already know how it's going to go. He's going to play the matchup properly. He's going to have priority in the early game. He's going to be able to dictate what wave state he wants to have in the early game. Probably like 2-wave crash um, into bounce back, or 3-wave crash if he wants. Maybe go for cheater recall. I don't know. But the main thing about the top lane matchup this game, which is why I don't really care too much, is because uh, considering how the comps function, how Olaf wants to be bot side, and Evelyn does not really want to interact with the top lane matchup either. These champions are just going to be in an isolated lane phase. Sorry about the consistent arrows. I have ADHD, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, these guys aren't going to really be interacting at all, so not much to go in depth with that. It's just going to be a farm lane. You have the Olaf versus Evelyn matchup. Now, Evelyn just does not want to interact with the Olaf, and it's that simple. So, not much to go in depth about it. You just don't want to interact with Olaf, and Olaf's just going to go for probably early Drakes. And the Zoe into Lucian matchup. Now, this matchup is quite volatile, and the reason being is Lucian pretty much has to take cleanse unless he's like really cocky, which is very risky because if you do get bubbled, um, your lane phase might just actually end off one bubble if you get chunked. Um, Zoe will usually go like DMAT in this lane, so she can maybe go for some cheeky bubbles or try to contest lane push in certain instances or circumstances. Um, she also does get to run the TP advantage over the Lucian. This means that she can go for a 700 gold, or sorry, 750 gold base, I believe, and she can get the Dark Seal plus the boots. This pretty much lets her have an item advantage with the early TP into lane, and then she'll have Corrupting Potion, allowing her to trade heavily into the Lucian in the early game, and then get that free TP reset and get her 2 items with the DS Dark Seal, sorry, the Dark Seal and the boots. Item advantage over the Lucian because Lucian has no TP. Now Lucian will have priority in this matchup, so it's not too much of a struggle. I mean, it sounded like it's very Zoe favored the way I said it, but Lucian will have no problem. He took the cleanse. He's gonna have priority in this lane, and he's just gonna play to push the lane. Not really gonna try to play too aggressive onto the Zoe because it's quite risky for him. But yeah, he's just gonna get priority and try to uh, make plays on the map if he can, or get windows for his jungler. But yeah, the bot lane matchup. Now, considering it depends on where Olaf pats, but Ashe and Bard pretty much free territory in this matchup. They want to play very aggressive because, well, right now, I believe in this game, actually, I'm going to skip ahead because Kramer actually takes TP, I believe. Yeah, okay. So he actually takes TP in this game, um, meaning you kind of want to force the Ezreal into an early back in this matchup. So you want to play very aggressive, try to get the Ezreal to base before he's able to buy. Maybe burn his TP early if you can. Um, but yeah, TP pretty much he knows how aggressive or how difficult this matchup is going to be, and he might be forced to recall early, and the TP just allows him to get back to lane. However, this makes him vulnerable for the early game because I think, I mean, I understand why Yumi took exhaust, but I think because Yumi has exhaust, honestly, even if she went ignite and like if she went ignite exhaust and Ezreal went heal, or Ezreal went exhaust and Yumi went ignite heal, I think they still lose the level one. Like you would say, like generally Olaf actually wins the level one, because he's such a strong champion. But I think because of Ashe and Bard, Ashe will go Guardian, Ashe will go Lethal Tempo. Did I say Ashe will go Guardian? Bard will go Guardian, Ashe will go Lethal Tempo. Evelyn, I mean she'll just go Electrocute. That's whatever. Um, and Ezreal will go probably Conquer. I doubt he'll go Lethal, especially in this matchup. He's never going to be able to do anything with it. He does not want to take long trades with the Ashe. So I think actually level one, JDG actually can win it. Um, Ashe is also especially very strong in the early game, or level one. Same for Bard, stronger than the enemy champions. So I think JDG actually can win this early game with these three champions versus those three champions. Now let's actually start to go into games. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to discuss. Actually, bot lane will have how do I say this? I'll call it wave priority, where they dictate what they want to do with the wave. They can decide if they want to push it, and if they don't want to, they don't have to, right? Same for mid and top lane early. Let's get into game. So already we see something's up. The replay does not show it, but Zoe burn flash, and there's a deep ward onto the Olaf early game. Now, one thing about Olaf I did not mention in the jungle matchup is that Olaf, in general, which I actually don't like much about him, is he's a very linear champion. Linear as in, or one-dimensional, that he will clear one side to the other and do this over and over. In this case, he'll clear top to bottom. Now he's going to clear top to bottom, he's going to reset, he's going to go to his top side, and this cycle will repeat itself over and over, and it's very easy to understand where Olaf's going to be on the map as long as your jungler knows how Olaf's clear speed is. These guys are professional players, of course they know. So Olaf, when he's in game, you know exactly where he's going to be, what he's going to do, right? Considering this, JDG, all they want to do is just know where Olaf starts so they can know how their laners should have to adjust their waves. Doing an early invade bot side pretty much ensures that Olaf starts top side because he will be afraid of a bot side invade. So this is very smart because you have priority in the bot side of the map and the mid side of the map, you can decide what you want to do in this quadrant come the second clear of the junglers. Because you know Olaf's going to do this, 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 and a second clear, same thing. He's going to go down, and you're going to want to punish this quadrant in that second clear window. Now, on Evelyn's side, you want to mimic Olaf's path, basically, but also be faster so that you don't necessarily fall behind when you go for this invade on the second clear with your bot lane. Reason being is because if you do a full clear on Evelyn top side and then full clear bot side, and then you go back to your top side and do full clear again, you're not going to reach his bot side quadrant in time by the time Olaf is there. He's going to probably already have cleared it, and you're going to miss your window. So you have to do a shortened path in order to get this window off. Now we're going to see Bard. He's going to start the sweeper early. This is going to mean he wants push control. This is very standard. He knows the enemy bot lane is going to ward, so he's going to go probably level 1. He'll go sweep the bush, get bush control, and the Yuumi Ezreal will be pressured a lot early on. Now, Camille can decide whatever the fuck she wants to do with this wave state. Um, we already know that Zoe burned flash, so one thing you could think about is maybe Camille wants to go for a 2-wave crash into cheese mid gank or a 3-wave crash into cheese mid gank. But if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Camille can do whatever he wants. It doesn't really matter. There's going to be nothing happening at the top side of the map. It really doesn't matter. All you want to do this game as both top laners is cancel each other's TPs. Well, actually, Camille just wants to cancel his Orin TP because JDG are the ones who are going to have to be punishing early and looking to do stuff on the other side of the map on mid or bot. So you just want to cancel the Orin TPs. Mid lane, I mean, now that Zoe has no flash, you can step up a bit more and you'll pretty much have free reign. Um, I think this is actually quite huge in this matchup, Zoe having no flash, so it's very, very good for the Lucian. They'll be able to control the mid-wave state a lot easier and not be as afraid of anything Olaf and Zoe try to do in the river. But yeah, and for bot, I mean, as I said in the draft, they decide what they want to do. They want to trade very heavily early on, try to force Ezreal to an early back, and then when they do decide to try to crash a wave, maybe go for a 4-man play bot because you'll have priority in the mid lane as long as you match your wave states and try to get slow push crashes off. You will try to trade heavily with the Ezreal and Yuumi, so they'll look to burn sums early, and then whenever they decide later on, they'll try to abuse that sum disadvantage by crashing waves and diving. Right? all stuff you can get from the early game. This information is available. You should know how you want to play this matchup. Now, one thing I will say is, since Olaf is pathing down, the bot lane will have to respect. Let me color this actually. Um, so Ashe and Bard will have to respect Olaf when he comes down here. The main thing is that obviously JDG have no clue, or sorry, LGD have no clue Evelyn started, right? They have no clue. Just block out the map. They have no clue where she started. So Olaf actually does need priority um, in the bot side of the map and yeah, just the bot side of the map so that he can get the scuttle. Because if he does not get priority, he can actually get punished here. If let's say Evelyn actually did do like a full clear, uh, top top to bot, and then meets that scuttle, and she has priority bot, and she has priority mid, Olaf will get double scuttled by Evelyn, and that's not what you want to happen. Now, in this instance, Ashe and Bard want to play aggressive early, so they're going to be pushing up first two waves, regardless of whether Olaf is starting top to bot, right? If he's pathing bot, they don't care because they will concede the lane 100%. They'll concede the lane when Olaf is around this area. Now, you could say, why doesn't blue team just freeze here when they start pushing the wave? The reason being is, right, as I said, they do not know where Evelyn started, so they need to get prio in the bot lane in order to secure the scuttle, right? And that's that. So that's how the early game will play out. As I said, so I said Evelyn does not want to do full clear. So what she's gonna do, she's gonna do Raptor Start into bot side clear, into reset, into Krugs, red, scuttle, and then she can do her Raptors, and then go into bot side jungle and make it in time, or do her wolves and make it in time into the bot side jungle before Olaf does a full clear, a full clear plus his top side quadrant, second clear. Kind of hard to say it out, but I'm trying to do my best that I can. But basically, Evelyn cannot do a full clear same as Olaf. She cannot do full clear to full clear. Um, first, right, like first clear. She can't do full clear. God, sorry. She cannot do a full clear on her first clear, and she cannot try to match it on her second clear either if she wants to invade, basically. Um, she needs to do a shortened path, as I said before. And the shortened path is Raptor Start into bot side. So I'm just gonna skip ahead because there's not much gonna happen. I already explained what how the lane's gonna play out, right? Um, blue, Gromp, reset, and Olaf's gonna be in the bot side map. And you see, right, the bot lane is pushed up, and you're gonna see the Ezreal now, and Yumi actually pushing up in the bot lane, and JDG is actually conceding the bot lane. And now they're able to get the Scuttle Crab. See Evelyn back on the reset, is going to her top side camps, going for the red, going for the Scuttle. Now, as soon as Ashe and Bard recognize, or they know for sure, there's no way Olaf is still bot, they go and start trading aggressively. Um, they're over to find this window, and they want to burn their sums, so they're going to play very aggressive here. Makes sense. Now, this is very important because this forces Ezreal to go for an early back, as I said, which is going to open up a window when Evelyn comes, say, here. Now, we know for sure Olaf, as I said, is a one-dimensional pathing, one-dimensional champion. We know he's going to be topside. And JDG knows this. I guess see Zoe go for the cheeky bubble. This is why this matchup is quite scary. Good from Yigao to be able to dodge that. That could turn things for the lane. Now, here, this is why you can say, or you know that JDG is actually pre-planning this invade. Um, Watch how Bard decides to sweep now. So, why is he sweeping now instead of when they would go for the invade? The reason being is Bard steps out of the lane and shows, right? The wave crashes and Bard just leaves and does not use sweeper. Um, they're pretty much just gonna think, okay, Bard is leaving the lane and he's gonna go for an invade, right? If Bard actually leaves the lane now and actually goes here, or actually he just to show, right? He's technically showing on vision that he's leaving the lane going into river. So they're gonna think, okay, he's sweeping or he's doing something, right? Now, if LGD thinks he's sweeping, they think, okay, um, now that when they actually go and crash this wave, what is he actually going to do, right? He's not going to sweep. He's probably just going to go base with Ash, right? He was probably just looking for a window to see if anything was happening, and nothing was able to happen, right? He's kind of like misleading them by sweeping right now, because if he swept or if he didn't leave lane now, let's say he never left lane and then he decides at this window to leave lane for the first time, right? Then they're going to be very suspicious that Bard is actually entering the enemy jungle. Kind of explained that poorly, but uh, hope you guys understand. So as I said, he's actually going to do the wolf, and now he's going to go into the enemy jungle. They know he's on the raptor camp. Bard's going to position here in case Olaf decides to go this way, and Evelyn's here in case he decides to go this way, and Bard can portal. I won't skip ahead, I'll actually show it. And like you would never expect like Olaf to die early game to an Evelyn. Um, but and Peanut's just like, Jesus Christ, how did this happen? But yeah, it was very, very good pathing. By Kanavi, um, his laners understood how to coordinate their wave states. Traded early, right? And here, building a slow push, right? Um, building a slow push, gonna crash this wave and then go for the invade, right? After this wave crashes. And that's gonna be done by the time he does this camp. He's gonna do this camp. He's gonna go here. This wave's gonna be crashed already. Um, and Lucian's gonna try to crash this wave, I believe. Yeah, and that's what he does. I was talking about this wave, right? Yeah, okay, I was right. Yep, and this play happens. So this is pretty much all I wanted to go over. Um, and this was utilizing all the information that was within the game. Um, I mean, obviously some stuff happened like Zoe burning Flash early, which impacts the mid lane a bit early, but you can see how all that information that they got early game, they know what their lane states are going to be. They know how they're going to play their lane states. They know how Olaf's going to path. They know how they're going to path. Um, it's just very coordinated, very good timings as well, movement, and it's just very, very good. And I wish they were able to show stuff like this at Worlds. Unfortunately, they weren't able to, but you know, they were the best jungle support team in the LPL, and they just weren't able to show it. Now I'm just gonna go show maybe another instance where they were able to do this again. So here, right, Evelyn hit 6, same thing. Here, actually, Yagao should not fast push this wave. He should wait for the next wave to come and try to hold the wave so he can get a slow push crash, or so he can get a bigger wave to crash, right? He wants to crash this wave and he can hold this wave here. But he decides to fast push for some reason, this wave. And then it crashes, and then I mean, obviously he can like full clear this wave instantly, but why not just have more time? I don't know. And you see the bot lane doing the same thing, set up a slow push crash. Evelyn's rotating, same thing. They can repeat this over and over because Olaf has to go topside for his camps. Obviously he can go bot, but then he's messing up his camp clear efficiency. Um, and the same thing happens one more time. They actually do this another time, and yeah, the game is pretty much over. Um, and they execute on their windows, and they're just able to snowball this game. Um, Evelyn's just everywhere, and I mean, this is just a complete stomp. But the important thing is they have the information early, they utilize it, they punish the windows that they're supposed to, and they actually know what it means to have priority. even though they don't have necessarily the best jungle matchup, they actually do abuse it. So that's all. Hopefully I can do more content in the future. We'll see, but just wanted to get this one out. I hope you guys liked it. And yeah, we're good to go. Have a good one.